Kia ora everyone, how are you all? Hopefully you're well and managing to keep up on top of what I know is a mountain of work at the moment. I am here in my office. Last week my video was recorded actually at my house, so today I am back in the office and I'm actually off to teach a class this afternoon, but just wanted to touch base with you all before I go and do that and to give you feedback on your online activities. I guess I'll start by noting that there were a significant number of people who didn't participate last week, which I know that you've got a lot going on and that you have assignment due for your arts paper with Joe this week, but I would like to remind you that online participation is a requirement of the course for everybody, not just when you feel like it. So please do make sure you go on and engage fully, and remembering that it's all about part of building up your knowledge and understandings to help you with those assignments. Thank you to those of you who did participate. You've shared a number of really important points there, some of which I'd really like to touch on here. I guess one of the first things is it's good to see that you have seen a range of practices that people are talking about transition and its importance, so that's really positive to see. Something that's came through quite strongly across the groups, because remembering I can see all three groups' discussions, is the impact of location on the ability of teachers in both sectors, both in early childhood services and in schools, to engage with each other. And certainly it's a lot easier when early childhood and schools are located or have a shared boundary or are very close together. It's much easier to build those relationships, to pop over and see each other, to share events and those kinds of things. So location certainly has an impact. Another significant impact is the willingness of teachers in both sectors to engage, to understand the importance of transition and why we need to be working towards greater continuity between the sectors in order to support children and their families as they move from early childhood education through to school. I think a lot of that comes down to people's understandings of why this topic is important. Once people understand that, they are far more likely to, buy in, is the word I use, and to be like, oh, actually that's something I need to think about. There could be things I could be doing differently or things I could be doing better, and start from that place. But until people understand why it's important, they're not going to be as committed. And we can throw hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars at programs and professional development to help teachers understandings of transition, but what's most important is that we get people's buy-in. We can throw all the money in the world at it, but if people aren't committed to making change, it's less likely to have a significant impact, and people are more likely to commit towards change if they understand why. So I think that's something really important for you to all keep in mind. Is also, my final point is how the spectrum, I guess, of different approaches to transition, from the idea that it's not early childhood teachers' jobs to prepare children for school, to something in the middle where there's a few things happening, to other early childhood and school services working incredibly closely together. In response to one of the group members shared a quote about something along the lines of, and it's one I've heard a lot before, but something along the lines of the only thing that a child needs in order to prepare for school is to be left to be 4. And part of me certainly agrees with that. The part of me that is against prepping children for school and giving them worksheets and those kinds of things, I'm not in favour of that at all, and if you want some evidence about that, feel free to give me a call. I can talk about that for a long time. But at the same time, our job as early childhood educators is to prepare children for life. That's what our job is. It's about supporting children to develop the skills that they need in order to have a rich, bright, productive future for them as people. And part of what comes next in life is school. Part of what comes next is learning to be part of a bigger group. So actually I think we do have a responsibility for supporting children in that journey and what comes next. At the other end of the spectrum, I regularly hear about early childhood services who are running Ready for School programs, or Now We're For, or extension groups for 4-year-olds, whatever they want to call them, in which they are doing a lot of harm to children. Learning should not be about worksheets. It should not be a formalised sit-down process. We need to take what we know about effective teaching and pedagogy in early childhood and use that to support children's developing skills. That means we've got to have knowledge, and making children do worksheets and those things like that, all that does is turn children off to learning. That's not what learning should be about. So if you see those practices, I encourage you to put your critical hat on and to think about actually what is the purpose of this, what are children actually getting out of it. Right, well, that's enough from me for this week. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to reading everybody's discussion online this week. Take care and have a good one. See you later.